Hello, it's April and welcome to Snapdragon Hollow. Today I'm here with a huge Temu haul. I haven't placed a Temu order in quite a while and I was looking to add some supplies to some of the sensory bins that I make for my grandkids, as well as some dioramas that I do and make, and just some other random items that I thought would be really interesting to have on hand. So this is a little bit of a different type of Temu haul. I don't believe there's too many dollhouse miniatures. There may be one in here. A lot of these again are for diorama making and sensory bin making. And again, just some interesting objects that I thought would be fun to have around the house. So I have quite a few fun items here. So I thought I'd go ahead and bring in a little tray here and that we would just start opening up one item at a time. I'll kind of set it out here on this tray so that we can see the different items that I picked out. So let's just go ahead and grab randomly into the pile here. This is going to be a supply for my diorama making. I do different dioramas and sensory bins, and I love to have different types of plants and things to display with the animals. So this is a cactus plant and it's really neat. I really love this. This would be great for any sort of sensory bin where you're making a desert scene or a diorama where you're doing a desert scene. So I think that this one is really, really neat. I don't have anything like this. And again, this is just going to be very random, and a lot of these I don't even know what they are until I unwrap them. I know I did buy a bunch of natural objects too to add to my nature collection. I love to have nature items. I've always collected nature items since I was a child, but I also really love to have these items on hand, nature items on hand for my grandkids to explore. Okay, so this is a really fun one. I had been eyeing this one for a while. I don't know if this is made of a real gemstone or just treated glass, but either way, it looks really, really neat. It looks like a planet with craters or a moon with craters. Thought that this was really, really pretty. Of course, I will have to keep this particular item up from my grandchildren. This won't be for my grandchildren until they're much older. This is definitely not a size I'd want them playing with. It looks like, a large marble size, but it's really beautiful and definitely caught my eye. Here's some diorama supplies. I know I got a few of these. These are just little plants and things that you can put in your dioramas. So if you're making a miniature scene and you want some plant life, these work really well for that. They have a lot of diorama and miniature supplies on Temu. It's really fun to look through the different supplies that they have. These will be good for a spring scene with all of these pretty yellow flowers on the bushes. Here's another tree. This one looks like some sort of a palm tree. I love having these. When I was a kid, one of my favorite animals were the Schleich animal figures. My grandma got us a bunch of them when she went traveling. She'd buy them in the airport for us. Anyway, one of the things that they used to come with were trees and things, and now it's harder to find the trees to go along with the animals. And I just think it makes playing with animal figures a lot more fun for kids if they've got access to some plant life here. It makes the scenes look a little bit more realistic. So this is a really nice palm tree here. So a palm tree. Here we have a bunch more plant life. We have another cactus here. It looks pretty similar to this one, but it's a little shorter. Got little flowers on it there. That's really nice. It's nice to have different sizes of things. Got a lot of tropical plants here that look really neat, and these would also go really well with dinosaurs and a dinosaur bin, so it looks prehistoric. Got this littler cactus here. And of course with Temu, a lot of these items are very affordable, so really neat. There's a different style of cactus there. And another cactus here, slightly different color. And this one's a little bit taller, so we've got small, medium, and large there on the cactuses. And then looks like two more items. Another smaller cactus even. So quite a nice collection of cactuses there, and another tropical plant. So we've got some really wonderful plants here for playing with different animals, setting up dioramas and scenes and things like that. Okay, now here is an item that I think is, yes, it's one of these acrylic cubes that you'll see that I got a bunch of these. This is actually more the size that I was hoping most of them would be, and in fact most of them turned out to be much smaller. If you've seen my other Temu hauls, you know that reading dimensions and the sizes of things is not my best habit. So this one though, I did know it was large. It had the dimensions really clearly listed on it. It is an acrylic block here with a wish inside of it here. So you can see the wish. This one's nice and big, so this will be perfect for my grandchildren to explore. It is my idea to set some of these different objects out. I have done this in the past where I set different natural objects out along with some magnifying glasses so that they can get a good look at these different nature items. Of course, we regularly find wishes in the summer and blow on them, let all the wishes go up into the air, which I think is always super fun. But I thought that this would be a neat way to really be able to hold on to that wish and look at it up close and just see the different structure of the plant there. So I really love this one. I love the size of that. Here are some more acrylic little blocks here, or resin blocks. I'm not sure if they're resin or acrylic. Looks like we have a whole collection here. These are also not a terrible size. I'll show you some here in a minute that are much smaller than I thought. But this is, again, a really good size here. You can see it's, let's see if I can get it to focus here. This is a pretty plant here. You can see some of the different plant parts. That'll be good, especially as they get older when they're learning to identify different parts of the plant. But while they're still young, they can just explore these up close and perhaps learn some of the simple names of the types. This acrylic block here does have some sort of a doming on it, like a resin doming here, so it's like smooth edges, which is really nice. I wasn't sure what the quality was going to be like, but I'm really impressed actually. These are very beautiful. Let me go ahead and open the rest of these and we'll take a peek at all of them here. Ooh, this looks like perhaps a bachelor button that's been flattened. I don't know the names of all these plants, but I think you could find some of them out, or you could just look at them. I think they're pretty. I also think that if I get a good collection of colors, I would like to use this in a color sorting activity. So perhaps like sorting the purple ones and the white ones, and if I have yellow and orange and things like that, that we could have then a color sorting nature activity. So that's a really pretty purple one. Here we have a nice orange one. This set's really pretty. Okay, and let's see. Oh, there we go. Beautiful orange flower there. Wow, that's really pretty. You can see how pretty these are. I think the grandkids are really going to enjoy looking at these, and actually I really enjoy looking at these as well. I love, again, collecting nature objects. I've done that my whole life, so I always kept a nature box from the time I was really young, and I'm hoping that the grandkids will be able to start having their own nature box soon too. They're about the right age to start collecting their little rocks and sticks and plants and things like that. Of course, as they're safe, and collecting them correctly and things like that, so we don't step in poison ivy or oak or anything like that. So here's what I mean by one of the smaller ones. So you can see the size difference here. This one is almost as tall as 3 of these little ones, and I was assuming that these were closer in size to these, or maybe like a square version of these, like this big, but they came really super tiny. I'll go ahead and just take one out of the package here. We don't need to take them all out. You can kind of see that this is a yellow and white collection. But this is what they look like. Again, they're really cute, but these are going to be way too small for the grandkids right now. So this will have to be for when they're older, but still really, really pretty there. You can see just a pretty little cube. I was also imagining that these could be used along with different block play. We have some colored acrylic blocks that they use with their wooden blocks, and it kind of adds a beautiful texture and color element to have this beautiful, vibrant, clear colored plastic. I have that, and they've also started selling different things like that on Temu as well. They were a little bit more than I wanted to spend, so I didn't buy those this time, I don't believe, but they would be a really neat addition to block play because you can kind of stack these up. So what an interesting, different thing to add into block play. Okay, and here we are with some more Diarama supplies. Another little set of little tiny tufts of plants here. This one looks like it's green with a little bit of perhaps white or tan on the top. And we've got this here. I'm thinking this is probably a rock. Have a craft in mind. It's kind of a long-term craft of mine, and what I need are a bunch of translucent rocks, like that are vibrantly colored. Now, okay, now this isn't a rock. Okay, now I know what this is. This looks like a rock, but it isn't. And again, it's much tinier than I thought, but this is for diorama. I thought of a wintry diorama, perhaps with polar bears and polar animals, and these could be some little ice chunks or you know, icebergs or something like that to add to the diorama. So this one is too tiny, but this one's a pretty fun size. So very cute. I like those. I thought for a second that was some sort of aquamarine type rock. And like I said, I am collecting rocks for another project. So little by little, I will collect those throughout the year. Here are more of the little bushes or plants here. This one looks really similar to the one I just had. Perhaps a little more white colored, but very handy. Here's something that doesn't need to be unwrapped that I picked up as well. I have a lot of prepared slides already, and I did get the grandkids I believe it's from Educational Insights, a microscope that's made for younger kiddos, preschool age. This one is, of course, for a standard microscope. I have, of course, a couple microscopes from when my kids were young, and I even have my original one from when I was a teenager and got one. And I love looking at slides. It's one of the things I just love to do. After the holidays, I was on Temu and I got an ad for from Temu, I believe, for some sort of a coupon thing where if you click and purchased a certain amount, you'd get a bunch of coupons. I would say to be cautious with those little deals. On the app, they have you click on different sales and specials, and you think you're getting a bigger coupon than it really does translate to. And you usually have to make a purchase. And then I went back into Temu actually just last night to order something. I had just 2 items to order, and I thought I would have access to all the coupons that I was supposed to have earned from this purchase, and they were not there anymore. So apparently they had a really short expiration date. So definitely read that fine print on their little deals there. They're kind of a little bit tricky to figure out what the actual rules are, but yeah, I would just say caution with that. This was one of those purchases. I was clicking on a thing, it said choose 10 items to earn some sort of a coupon, and this was one of those items. It was very inexpensive. These slides aren't like super complex or anything like that, but they're still very interesting, and I think having a wide selection of prepared slides is really fun for kids. So did pick those up. I think it was like a couple of dollars. And then we've got this, feels like perhaps more acrylic cubes. I was kind of on a kick. I wanted to get a bunch that were square or cube similar to this size, again for block play and different things like that, and also for color sorting. So you can see I have the yellow here, I got the blue here, and again, this is much smaller than I thought, but actually for color sorting it's still really nice. Those are very pretty. And we have more cubes here, more flower cubes here. I'll go ahead and get these all out of the bag and show you what they look like. Okay, so here's the next set of the little flower blocks here. An orange one, sort of a yellowish one, this pretty red one, another purple one. So far these are all different, which is really neat. There's like a light pink one and sort of another, sort of a violet colored one. So we're getting a nice collection of those. I'm really happy with that. I also thought I would point out a similar purchase that I made at Amazon, just so I could show you the difference. They look like they're relatively similar. This came packaged like this with each cube in an individual bag here. And again, these are the smaller size, similar to this. So again, if you're purchasing these, you'll really want to pay attention to size, unlike what I did here, because as you can see, they're vastly different in size. This is like 1/6 of the size of these, and this would be much better, I think, if you wanted to incorporate that in block play. So of course, if you want to use these for any sort of block play, these are going to be too small. But for other uses, I think they're very, very beautiful. And again, I know that I really enjoy them. These are the mixture that I got from Amazon again. I think there were 12 in here. You can see a large variety of both green greenery and florals here. So that'll be fun to add to this collection of the small ones. And again, I'll probably use those for color sorting or different sensory activities when the grandkids are much older. Here we have some more diorama supplies. These are rocks, so you can put out rocks with the plants. I think that that's also extra fun. These are really nicely made. They're extremely sturdy, a nice type of plastic, very similar to like your plastic animals. So we've got some rocks here. I'd never seen anything like this. I know that these will be very useful for that. So we've got some good rocks here. Here, I think, is another tree. So here is this tree here. This looks really neat. You could perhaps balance some animals on these branches if you wanted. Also just is a neat piece for a diorama or small world play. That's the other type of activities that I set up. It is called small world play, where you basically create, just like the name says, a small world. So using objects like this that look like small items from nature and little animals or other things like little cars, and then use a lot of kinetic sand when putting these together. And I do hope to share in an upcoming video how I put together some sensory bins for the grandkids. I just ordered 6 new sensory bin boxes that have latching lids because my grandkids love to play with kinetic sand and different sensory bins that I've set up for them in the past, and I'd like to refresh all of those in the new year here. So they're very excited about that. I talked with them the other day about what types of subjects that they would like to have in their sensory bin. So I'm going to do some of the ones they suggested as well as some of our old favorites. There's another tree here. See this pretty tree here. This looks more like a deciduous tree. It's neat that it has this little tree bud here, like a leaf bud here on the edge. I really like that. It's a different style. And let's see, we'll go ahead and open up one more item and then I'll clear this tray here and we'll keep going with the rest of this. So again, this is a really huge haul. Okay, we have a mountain here. This is sold as a train mountain here that you can run the wooden train tracks through. My grandkids love their trains. We don't have a train set here at this house, but train sets are something that I love getting the grandkids for their gifts. We buy them the initial train set and then build on that over the years. It makes a really nice gift, and they really love their trains. They play with them all the time. Anyway, this is a tunnel. You can use it in a train set or you can use it in a diorama as a mountain. So that's what I will be doing. I'll be using this for making a mountain in a diorama. I think it's really neat. Let's go ahead and open up one more piece before I refresh this tray here. We have some more diorama supplies. And these are really neat. These are big logs here. This is so unique. I may have to order another set of these. I just know that my grandkids will enjoy playing with these and I'll enjoy using these in dioramas. So we've got some more rocks here and some logs. This one looks, yeah, this one looks like it's got a little fossil in it there, a little dinosaur fossil. That's wonderful. And another rock here. These could be used if you do miniature train setups or villages, or if you do small world play, or just enjoy putting together dioramas and things like that, or sensory bins. It's wonderful for all of those things. I was really happy to find so many supplies for that on Temu. So another log here. Looks like we have a small, medium, and large log, as well as a small, medium, and large rock. So that was a really cool set as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set some of these products aside so that we can clear our tray and open up the rest of my Temu items here. Okay, so I've set those items aside. I will pan over everything at the end of this haul here just to give you one last look at everything that I picked out. Here's some more crafty supplies here. Picked up a couple more glue tape dispensers. I use these in scrapbooking and paper crafting, so I'm always needing new of these. So I picked up a couple of those, and let's see, a couple of this style here that looked really interesting. A little bit smaller here. So just some little glue tapes. So this comes with a handy little bag here. So we've got 6 new tapes, which I'll definitely use. Let's see, we have another item here. Let's see what this is. Surprisingly, this came in one large bag, just a plastic bag, and I was really surprised that everything made it so well, but I think it's because they pack each item individually like this pretty well. This looks like it's one individual cube. You can buy one individual cube as well of the flower cubes, and I thought I would see which one is kind of luck of the draw. You just get one. It's not a specific one. It's one of a collection of random flowers here. So here we have what looks like a very translucent pansy. So that's pretty neat. I call the small ones like this either a viola or a pansy, I should say. I call them Johnny Jump Ups. They just jump up throughout my garden because if you plant them a couple of times, they kind of reseed around the garden and they just pop up in all sorts of nice little spots throughout the garden. So that's a neat one to have. Here's a bag of just bulk items here that I will use in my grandkids' sensory bin. One of their favorite sensory bins that I've made for them in the past is a honeybee themed sensory bin, and we have all these little honeybees here. We have some already, but I wanted to refresh some of them as they have spent some time in kinetic sand and around slime and Play-Doh and things like that. I have a wooden honeycomb set for them, as well as the life cycle of the bee and all sorts of other fun things. And again, when I make up their sensory bins and refresh their honeybee sensory bin, I will show you how that turned out. This is an item that came before in a separate package. This was one item that came separately. This is a really neat item. Now, it is not what I thought it was, however. This is one of those things where you've got to pay attention to the item description here. I've seen these in the past. Sorry, you can see my ceiling lamp there through this. This is like an acrylic block or a resin block here. I've seen different ones for sale with the periodic table of elements where they have a tiny piece of the actual element within the block. Of course, you know, not the elements that are dangerous. As you can see here, they've put the little radioactive symbol there, so they're obviously not going to include that. But in this case, it wouldn't have mattered anyway because these are not real items. It is just a sticker on the back, or like a, it's not really a sticker, but some sort of a printing or layering on the back. You can actually feel it. So it's not within the block. You can see within the block, there's not really anything. It does give sort of the impression of that, but that is not what I wanted. I was hoping for one of the blocks that have the elements inside. So while this will be a really neat visual aid in the future when we are talking about the periodic table of elements, our family really loves to learn. We're very bookish and we love learning about science and history and things like that. So we have things like this around our house and books about it as well. I thought this would be a nice visual aid. I think I will still continue on my quest to get one of those that have the actual elements inside. I imagine I will just have to pay a bit more for that and look at different sellers for that. But in the meanwhile, this will be a very interesting visual aid. You can see kind of up close. They at least have a pretty good picture of what the element is supposed to be like. And again, as a little fun, decorative item for educational purposes, I think that this is pretty neat. So that's one of my items there. It wasn't what I thought it was. Okay, here we have more of the little acrylic blocks. This is the red set. So I have blue, yellow, and reddish pink here. Here we have another tree. Here's another tree here. Let me lift this up a bit. It's got a really neat sort of mossy bark here and the deciduous leaves on it. This one's a little wobbly here. I'll have to see if I can hook that on a little bit better. But really neat tree there. Here's another fun item. Let's see, we've got two there. Another fun item that I was really excited about. So here's the next item. This item is one I was really excited about. It is a collection box for little small teeny tiny shells or rocks. And you can pull this off here and it is, I believe it is a nice clear acrylic. Let me go ahead and see if I can get the back off. So there's the corner kind of peeled on both the front and back. And it is just magnetic here. So you just open it up magnetically, you fill it up, and then you place your top on magnetically. I am super excited to have this. I love looking for teeny tiny shells and rocks and things when I go to the beach or the riverside. I recently bought a small bag of shells when I was visiting the Seaside Aquarium with my grandkids on the 1st of January. And we then went down to the actual beach to play in the ocean a little bit and sit on the sand. And we walked down to the beach and left my beach bag and blanket. It's usually pretty safe to do that. People just tend to respect everybody's things there. I've never had a problem with that. And we left it and walked down to the actual water, which is on Seaside Beach, quite a distance. And then when we got about halfway there, we turned around and a flock of seagulls was rooting through my bag. I've seen them do that to other people when I've personally been on the beach. I watched once somebody leave their lunch out. It was a little too far of a distance to go running over there myself, but the seagulls had eaten their fries in just a short like a minute. They had gotten into their beach bag and their fast food bag and eaten out the fries. It was comical. The people got a kick out of it. They had a pretty good attitude about it. But yeah, so that is my lesson. Watch your things. Don't leave anything that a seagull might find interesting. They actually got into the beach bag, pulled out a brown paper bag that had 2 little bags of seashells and a sand dollar that I had bought from the aquarium to show to the grandkids, just to use in different nature objects. And when we got back, my husband was able to find the sand dollar and the bag, but not the little bags of shells. They were gone. The seagulls must have carried them off and dropped them somewhere else along the beach. So hopefully a beachcomber will find those. They were really beautiful. I do hope to find a bag like that again. They had some really pretty, colorful, teeny tiny shells that would have fit perfectly in this box. But I'm pretty sure I have some of those myself in my collection already. And I can use this to put the teeny tiny shells that I come across again when I'm beachcombing this year. So I'm really excited about this little container. I thought that was really fun. And it was also really a funny thing that happened at the beach there. I was a little bit sad about not having my seashells, but it was so funny to see such a sight of an entire flock of seagulls digging through my beach bag that it was kind of funny. And here we have another palm tree. Nice for dioramas. We'll have a couple of palm trees. Oh, okay, I think this is, oh yes, this is a pretty rock here. It's got some sort of oil all over it. I'm gonna go here and pause the camera just a second and wash my hands. It's kind of gross. I don't know if it's just oil to shine it up or what, but a pretty shamrock out of, you know, some sort of green rock. I don't know, again, if this is real or not, but I thought this would be really pretty to set out for St. Patrick's Day. So now, because I have no idea what oil is on this, I'm gonna go wash my hands and I'll be right back. Okay, I checked the bag and that said it was green adventurine. So I don't know again if that's real or not. It kind of looks like it, and I do not know what that oil was. I did wash my hands there. I'm allergic to nut oils, so hopefully they wouldn't use that. And it was just mineral oil, but that was a little shocking. I didn't really like that. It's not labeled, so you don't really know what that is. Anyway though, so yes, a pretty green shamrock rock. Here we have some more diorama supplies. We've got some cute little lavender plants here. Here we have some fun, cute little random objects. I just thought these were cute. I'm not sure what I'm going to use them for. I will use them in something. They are really cute. They're little flocked bears. They kind of remind me of the flocked bear stickers that we used to have back in the 80s that I really loved. They just looked really, really cute. I'll have to think of a fun craft for these. Thought that they looked really adorable. We've got this here. So here is a dollhouse miniature. I wasn't sure if I had ordered any dollhouse miniatures for this, but I did. I ordered these really adorable little candlesticks. I think that these are so cute. I really liked these a lot. I wish they did have a bit of a candle flame detail or a wick detail there, but that's okay. I still think that they look really neat. The little tray here. And I'm sure I could fashion something to put on the top of that to make it look a little bit more realistic, but I really love these. Those are very cute. I actually have candle holders like this for real life for my house, so I wanted some for the dollhouse as well. And here are just a couple of fun random items. This is what it looks like. It's flat, but it looks like a sort of like a snow globe. It comes with a stand here. It does look like you can peel that off, so it is a clear acrylic. Or plastic of some sort. You put it in the stand here. I ordered these just because I was so intrigued that I wanted to see them in person. I don't know how much use I'll get out of them, but I was intrigued. I thought they were really neat. I thought that they were very pretty. When you look at them straight on like this, and in the picture that they showed, they did say that this was flat, so I knew that it was going to be flat. But I was so intrigued by how three-dimensional it looked. I'll put that on later. By how three-dimensional it looks when it's upright like this. really looks like you can see the depth in the picture here. So I just thought that was really super intriguing. Thought it was really pretty. I just thought it would be something fun to look at. Something fun to have when we look at some of our books about outer space and things like that. Looks like the back has maybe something to peel off too. I'll have to play around with this and have it set up when I do my final pan of items. I got two similar ones to this. So I got this one here, and I got this one here that's a little different shape. This one looks like this, and this one also looks really like very three-dimensional. I don't know how they've done it. They've done a really neat job making that look really three-dimensional. So I'm intrigued by these. I thought they were really super fun and a neat way to have a visual aid for studying about the solar system and things like that. That looks really, really neat. So just fun. They were inexpensive, and I was just so intrigued how they could look so three-dimensional but just be flat. So really, really neat little whimsical object here. I will probably, again, keep these in with some of my visual aids for teaching about the solar system. Here we have another plant cube. This is one of those that I just bought individually. Again, sort of luck of the draw. This is the first one that I've seen that has a little bit of filing that needs to be done there on the edge. A little scratchy there, but otherwise very pretty blue flower there with some almost like iridescent bits to it. They're pink or something. Really, really pretty. I'm just so happy with those. Let's see, we do have more items here. Let me go ahead and see what this is. I think this is more, I have I think 3 more bags of diorama supplies. We'll go ahead and take a look at these. Okay, so this is a whole set. Came with animals, a tree, and some rocks, similar to the other rocks that I've already got. This will be great for a wildlife sensory bin here. Got all the little plastic animals, a good selection of little plastic animals to use in a sensory bin. And we've got some more of the rocks, which I'm actually really happy about. I love these. I think they're really neat. So the similar 3, I believe the same 3 that we got in the other set. So really nice. It's nice to have multiples. That way I can leave some in sensory bins and then have some out just for switching around in different scenes. And we have another little tree. This is similar to the other little tree. So now we have a couple of these, which again will be really nice. It's nice that it kind of lays a little bit flat too, although I will probably fix this branch of tree leaves here a little bit more, but yes, perfect for sensory bins. And then we have 3 more items. This is the last, I believe the last diorama piece. Another one of these interesting tropical plants here. They had a whole bunch of them. I was just so happy to find so many of these at such a reasonable price. In the past, for my different animal dioramas and collections, I've paid much more for these. So really neat pieces. If you are an animal collector and want to display your pieces with these, or if you are making fun sensory bins for your kids or doing small world play with your kids or grandkids in my case, I think this is a great place to find some really fun supplies for that. So far, this was a really fun haul. A little bit different than my normal haul, but really fun. Okay, we have 2 last items here. 2 big boxes. So this one is really heavy. I can't remember what this is here. It might be rocks. It looks like it's got some powder there. We'll see what this is. Let's see. It says, thank you for supporting my small business. I don't know that Temu is a small business. Perhaps this little one is, though. I don't know. Okay, so now I remember this. This is a wonderful item here. It's another, this one I feel like, I think that this is so heavy it's got to be glass. This is a glass block with a picture of the 9 planets. And I picked this one up specifically because it included Pluto. A lot of the visual aids nowadays for studying the solar system do not include Pluto. I love reading stories about and learning about the solar system and the planets. We have some fun books about that, and I thought this would be a great visual aid. It's pretty realistic looking. It's got the names of them you can see: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Even though Pluto was downgraded, I can't remember how long back, I've always considered a Pluto to still be one of the planets. And I still wanted the grandkids to know about it. I'll teach them that it was downgraded into, I can't remember what they're calling it now, a dwarf planet or something like that. But we'll learn the correct facts about Pluto, but I still wanted them to know about Pluto. Most of the educational items that I'm finding out there now to teach about the solar system leave out Pluto. So every time I find one with Pluto, I'm pretty excited. This is a chunky, hefty item here. Boy, it's really beautiful piece there, and I'm happy to have that. So that was a nice one. I'm glad it came packed in this lined box here. Kept it really safe and protected in the mail. So that's an exciting one. I'm happy to have that. And then one last item here. This is just one of those sort of fun gadgety items that you will find around my house. And I know that the kids enjoy this. I've never seen one quite like this. This looks like an hourglass. I have a pretty nice collection of hourglasses, but this one makes a bubbling noise. Here, I'll let this kind of drip down and show you from this direction. So you can see the bubbles. You can hear that. At least I think you can hear that. I can hear it. Makes a lovely little bubbling sound and leaves these bubbles here. Now this is glass, so I'm going to have to really only bring this out when I'm showing it to the grandkids. I'll be holding it. I don't think that would be safe for them to hold this. It seems very breakable, but this is going to be fun. I know my own kids will get a kick out of this. This is a really intriguing little hourglass. Not an hourglass, of course. It's only a few minutes, but one of those little sort of interesting objects. So I really enjoy that quite a bit. I thought this was neat. I didn't think it would be this big. So I'm really impressed with the size of it and how it works. It's really, really fun. So that is the last item today in my really large and creative, fun Temu haul. Lots of fun and different items for crafting and making dioramas and small world play and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything set up for one last look. Okay, so here are all the goodies that I got from Temu today. I found this one other tree as well that I hadn't opened up. It was under another item that I didn't see. So we have that one to add to the different trees pile. You can see all these beautiful acrylic blocks with flowers, some fun items for sensory bins, and lots of great items for dioramas and small world play. We've got some slides there. Here's how these two turned out. Very neat, fun little items there. And all of these great items, some practical items there, some glue, and just one little dollhouse miniature there. But overall, a really fun haul. I'm happy with everything, and I'm really excited to use all of these items in the upcoming year. I hope you enjoyed checking out all these interesting finds from Temu today, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.